Hi, my name is Jared Brosford.
And my name is Vicky Doe.
Today we are here to talk about depression in the African American community. It often goes unspoken about and untalked about in that particular community, so it is important that we bring light and awareness on why that is. Why is it not getting talked about? So it is hypothesized that generational difference lie within factors of Christianity. Unresolved generational trauma often goes unspoken about because as a Christian in the African American community, you're told to just deal with it, pray about it, or that you don't need an outside source to heal your problems. And we believe that this is one of the major contributing factors of why African Americans don't seek outside help for us getting help by counselors, psychologists, or whoever they may be that would help them. It is a big problem because this brings on generational curses that can follow that can be passed down on to further generations within your family. And it also is a bigger problem because these African American populations aren't seeking the help that they need in order to get better help with their mental health, and mental health is important. So it's important for us to discuss these things and why it's needed, the research is needed.
So what we do and don't know about the topic, and so finding connections between depression and religion in African American communities is a niche in the research that there hasn't been a lot of research. And not only that, trying to find research specifically about mental illness and depression in African American communities has also been difficult to find. But it has been found that Black and Hispanic communities are at a higher risk for mental illnesses, including depression, than their white counterparts or white peers. Some of that is because of racial discrimination, generational trauma, poverty, and overall oppression of minorities in America. Some of the limitations of the study would be how we were unable to generalize the findings, as we are specifically looking at we're looking at 4 different age groups, and we're wanting a specific amount from each age groups. And so there lacks a external validity that we are unable to provide. However, once the study is replicated, the external validity will become stronger. And then also, with the constraints of the study, we were unable to provide qualitative questions, wanting to ask each participant about their feelings about the subject individually, and to compile that data, we weren't able to do that because of the time constraints.
And you may be asking, why is it important that we address these issues? Well, it is important and essential that we address these issues because there is a big gap of literature and research that's missing on why the African American population are facing these disadvantages. Why are we not seeking help when we need it? So it is very essential that this is addressed. For our design, we have decided to create a survey that will evaluate how depression is taking a toll on one's life and which methods or independent variables should be regulated to solve the issue. We will be using the Epidemiologic Studies Depression Scale, known as the CESDR, and this scale observes the symptoms of similarities and or differences between the different age groups that we are going to be discussing throughout our research. The promotion material for the online survey will have information regarding the potential for any individual who completes the survey to win a $50 gift card if they choose to participate in our survey and provide their email at the end of the drawing.
So the recruitment of the sample was done through multiple approaches. One of the approaches for the promotion of the survey was done by hanging flyers in 10 different churches throughout the DFW Metroplex. We also would hang flyers around the UNT and TWU campuses, the flyers being physical flyers and digital flyers with a QR code to persuade African American individuals to participate in our survey. The multiple recruitment methods were planned in order to increase the ability to fulfill the participant requirement for each of the age groups. So there's 4 age groups with at least 50 individual responses from each of the age groups. The usage of the non-probability sampling, specifically quota sampling, resulted from our need for the study to receive data from these multiple age groups. The lack of randomization of the sampling does impact the generalizability of the results. However, as there is a niche in this type of research, the study begins as a starting point for the study of this specific population.
So, like stated previously by my group member, we will be posting these flyers around 10 different churches around the UNT and TW's campus. This will give us 3 different locations to be able to gain participants for our survey. We will also be creating a social media ads to persuade the African American population to participate in our study. We would like to gather 200 different individuals from the African American population, in which 50 individuals from the 4 different age groups that we have selected: age 15 to 30, age 31 to 46, age 47 to 62, and age 63 to 78.
For the measurement section of the study, the independent variable of the study would be the age groups, referring to the 4 age groups previously stated by my partner, and the dependent variable is the depressive symptoms that may or may not have been impacted by religious-related influences. And to help increase the validity of the study, the survey, after a set amount of questions answered, will ask the participant to mark an answer choice. These questions overall help assist in evaluating the accuracy of the survey. And to help evaluate the internal consistency of the survey, select questions will be reformatted or asked in a different manner while maintaining the same underlying construct of the question. The measurement used in the study would be the standardized depression scale called the Center of Epidemiologic Studies Depression Scale, or the CESDR. And this is a validated measure of the severity of depressive symptoms.
So, for the possible ethical issues while dealing with individuals taking this survey, the questionnaire might trigger respondents, and if this happens, we will be able to provide resources around the DFW area to those seeking further information and/or assistance on mental health. Because of the need of more literature and research on our topic, we must partake in this research, but we also want to be considerate of individuals and their feelings. But in order to get enough surveys, we do have to do the proper research to fill in this missing information that is causing a gap in the studies of African Americans with depression.
So we have a physical and a social media flyer. This physical flyer can also be used digitally, but the physical flyer has the purpose, the participants that we are looking for, what the participants will be doing, and the possible compensation for participants that do fill out the survey. And there is also a QR code on the physical flyer that will take the participant directly to the survey, which first has the assent and consent forms and the potential harm from participating in the study. We also made a social media flyer for the survey in order to promote the purpose of the study overall and to help spread the word about our survey.
The social media flyer that you see here is a flyer that will be posted throughout Instagram and Facebook to lure participants in to take our survey. Why should an individual take this survey? This survey will help researchers learn more about a particular topic by gathering information from relevant participants. It's not time consuming for an individual. It's only 23 questions and they're all multiple choice. You can also be entered to receive a $50 gift card if you choose to enter your email at the end of the survey. This study is to help the African American culture get answers. We have decided to insert a clip of the CESDR depression scale just to get a better sense of the questions they may be asking and the questions that you will be answering throughout completing our survey. It is a Likert scale, meaning that you will choose symptoms from 1 to 4, 1 being less likely or less than 1 day, rarely or none of the time, and then 5 to 7 days being most of all the time, depending on your answer for specific questions. For example, number 1 says, I was bothered by the things that don't usually bother me. So if you answer 1, that means you were rarely bothered by the things that usually bother you. If you answer 4, that means most of the time you were bothered by the things that usually bother you. There are a total of 20 questions throughout this CESDR depression skills survey, and there will also be the same 20 questions throughout our survey, just to get a better understanding of the different symptoms that an individual within the African American population might experience and how they differ from others' experiences.
To sum up the end of our presentation, there are still some questions that have yet to be answered. So an example would be how we have 4 different age groups, each a part of a different generation, and we have yet to find out why exactly understand the historical context of why they view depression in this manner, as we are unable to understand the symptoms of depression for each of the age groups, but we weren't able to find the qualitative answers to them. And then we also wanted to delve into the possible coping skills for each of the age groups, as we were able to see the severity and the differences of the symptoms of depression, but not necessarily how the older generation, for example, were able to cope healthily or maladaptively.
Lastly, what we hope to discover and get answers to as we finish up on this research, we hope to get answers to how the different age groups cope and their symptoms in regards to taking the depression scale survey, and just kind of contracting how they're different how the symptoms are different between the different age groups. This will give us answers on why certain or older generations and newer generations have different views on depression and how seriously they take it.
And that'll be the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.